It's coming. I've no doubt. How could it not? And I wonder who the president will blame then when another 3,000 Americans are killed. Oh, I could take a good guess. He'll blame the GOP. He'll blame the Republicans for not being for. If those dirty, stupid, filthy Republicans would have just been for immigration, comprehensive immigration reform, that would have never happened. I can hear it now. Nancy Pelosi. Harry's Reid. I can hear them all now. Chuck U. Schumer. Little Dick Durbin. I can hear them all. When 3,000 Americans die and we find out they came across the southern border, it'll be the Republicans' fault for holding up and blocking comprehensive immigration reform. And the brain-dead zombies and the useful idiots will, lap it up. You and I won't. We know better. We know better. Of course, the Democrats know better, too. I won't stop them from doing it. I'm sure of that. What a dangerous world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. And the one country that has the power, the ability, the money, we just wasted billions of dollars in Iraq and Afghanistan, most likely, because it'll be overrun by terrorists the day we pull out, just like Vietnam was. And if we're going to spend the money, spend the blood, spend the treasure, why aren't we doing this stuff right? And why are all these so-called smartest people on the planet too stupid to do it right? I mean, you just heard the story from John Nolte. We had the Iraq War won. The president even knew it. That's what he claimed. We're leaving behind a stable and wonderful, beautiful, happy, joy, Iraq. Time to bring our guys home. All he had to do was leave behind a residual force to keep the Iraqi military on track, to keep the Iraqi government on track. Status of forces agreement, please. Could have had it in a minute. Of course, it would have taken a little bit of competency, would have taken a little resolve, would have taken a little ingenuity. Probably a couple threats. Apparently this president, he's only good at threatening Republicans. He doesn't know how to threaten terrorists or allies who aren't cooperating or, anybody else. He's good at threatening conservatives, though. Got another story in the stack here. Another story off of Breitbart. Been liking them guys a lot these days. They got some good critical thinkers over there. The Obama Doctrine. This shout out to Breitbart. Story by Ben Shapiro. I always enjoy his op-eds. The Obama Doctrine. Pretend like you give a damn until you don't have to. For years, commentators have attempted to peg down just what the Obama Doctrine is. His allies have labeled the Obama Doctrine a form of realism about the limits of American power. His critics have labeled the Obama Doctrine leading from behind, which is exactly right. You notice he doesn't, he never takes the initiative. He doesn't head off the terrorists before they can, overrun a country. In fact, more often than not, he aids them in doing so. Libya tried to in Syria. He did aid him in Egypt. The only reason Egypt is not now firmly in control of the Muslim Brotherhood is because the Egyptian military. He leads from behind. When he does take the initiative, he helps terrorists. I'm sorry. That's not my opinion. Those are the facts. It's not my opinion that he delivered Libya into the hands of terrorists by taking out Gaddafi. He did it. He took out Gaddafi, and Libya is in the hands of terrorists. Hello? He took out Mubarak, and Egypt was briefly in the hands of terrorists. Hello? He snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory in Iraq, and it's being overrun by terrorists. And if he had his way, Syria'd be in the same boat. Most likely, the same thing's going to happen in Afghanistan, unless somebody wises up and tells the president, hey, Chief, might want to rethink this whole Afghanistan thing and pulling out the troops, Didn't work too well in Iraq. We might want to get out in front of this one. But I doubt it. A, he's not smart enough to listen, and B, he's not smart enough to put people around him smart enough to tell him. Back to the article. In 2009, President Obama came up with his own definition of the Obama Doctrine. We're only one nation. Problems we confront, whether it's drug cartels, climate change, terrorism, you name it, can't be solved by just one country. But Obama has also, at certain points, claimed to champion unilateralism in the service of human rights and internationalism in the service of diplomacy. The Obama doctrine has been difficult to pin down because there does not seem to be a common thread uniting his desperate policies. Muscular interventionism. Oh, it took 3 tries. Muscular interventionism in Libya, pushy paternalism with regard to Israel, eager addiction with regard to Syria and Ukraine. But Obama's latest decision to launch airstrikes against the Islamic State in the Levant, ISIL or ISIS, the artist formerly known as ISIS, the Obama doctrine has now come into focus. Pretend to give a damn about suffering of innocence when it hits the headlines. Ignore it the rest of the time. That's a pretty good evaluation, I think. Which I've been saying for years, ladies and gentlemen. This president really doesn't give a damn. He really doesn't. Because Obama doesn't really care at all. He's a master emotional manipulator, capable of achieving effective posturing when it comes to the suffering of innocence. That's why the media constantly swoon at his tone and his attitude during his press conferences. They repeatedly praise his anger or his determination, but they rarely ask just what he's doing to fight evil. I can tell you that. Nothing. That's the point of liberalism. There is no evil. That's the point of liberalism, ladies and gentlemen. Modern day liberalism. Maybe not 30, 40, 50 years ago. There was a time when liberalism, really meant live and let live. Don't judge a book by its cover. Be more open-minded. Now modern day liberalism, there is no evil. Just another way some people choose to live their life. That's why they give moral equivalence to Hamas and Israel. Liberals really don't see the difference. Liberals see Israel as the bully because they're the mightiest. They're the strongest.